Have you ever wondered if the dog you adore truly loves you back the way you believe? So many of us trust that a dog's love is pure, unconditional, a gift no human could ever fake. But modern animal behavior science shows us something surprising. Sometimes what we think is love is really just tolerance, behaviors, habit, or even quiet fear. It's strange to imagine, isn't it? But in reality, the smallest things your dog does can reveal a truth you might not want to face. Your dog could be keeping its distance, staying cautious, or simply putting up with you. Don't feel guilty or upset just yet. Understanding these hidden signals is actually the first step to closing that silent gap between you and your loyal friend. In this video, I'll walk you through 17 clear signs that researchers and dog trainers have found. Signs that show your dog might be uneasy, unsure, or only pretending to be comfortable with you. And more importantly, I'll share simple tips for each one so you can turn worry into real trust. So every look, every wag of the tail is your dog's way of saying, "I trust you." Are you ready to see how many of these signs show up at home? I promise number 7 might surprise you the most. Let's dive in and see what your dog has been trying to tell you. Let's start with one of the clearest signals your dog can give you: its tail. We all know a happy dog greets us with a wagging tail that sometimes seems to dance along with its whole body. But what does it mean when that tail stays still or even tucks under? For a dog, the tail is more than decoration. It's a language, one that can quietly tell you, "I'm happy to see you," or "I'm not so sure about this." Researchers have found that dogs wag their tails slightly more to the right when they feel safe and joyful. But when that wag shifts left, or when there's no wag at all, it can mean your dog feels anxious, uncertain, or even afraid. Maybe it remembers a loud voice or a quick, sharp movement that made it uneasy. Or maybe your dog just hasn't learned yet that you're a source of calm and comfort, not stress. So what can you do? Don't rush in with big gestures or loud calls. Try walking up slowly. Keep your voice soft and low, and let your dog come to you when it's ready. Offer a treat or a gentle scratch behind the ear. Never force it. Sometimes the smallest shift in how you approach your dog can bring that tail back to life again. So, next time you step through the door, watch that tail. Is it frozen or wagging? That simple sign might be telling you more than you think. Ready to check the next clue? Let's see what your dog's eyes have to say. Now let's move from the tail to the eyes. Because if the tail is the flag of a dog's mood, the eyes are the window to its trust. You might have heard that when a dog looks straight into your eyes, it's showing affection and comfort. But in the dog world, a direct stare is not always friendly. Among dogs, a long, hard stare can mean dominance or even a threat. So what happens when your dog keeps looking away instead of meeting your gaze? It might not be being shy. It could be telling you, "I don't feel safe enough yet to hold your eyes." Some dogs learn this because of a bad memory, a harsh word, a raised hand, or just a tense atmosphere. If your dog looks down or turns its head when you lean in, it's trying to keep the peace, not pick a fight. Here's what science tells us. When a dog and its owner share gentle eye contact, both brains release more oxytocin, that warm, bonding hormone that mothers feel with babies. But that only happens when the dog feels calm and trusts that you won't misuse that moment. So, what can you do? Never force a stare. Instead, sit beside your dog, speak softly, blink slowly, and wait. Let your dog come to you. When it's ready, it will lift those eyes on its own, and that little look might be its way of saying, "Okay, I trust you a bit more today." Next time you're together, try it. Notice those eyes. Are they meeting yours with calm curiosity or slipping away? It's a small sign that opens a big door. And now, let's look at what happens when your dog doesn't want your touch at all. Now, what about when you reach out your hand? For many of us, petting our dog feels like the simplest way to show love, and we expect them to soak it up with a happy sigh. But what if your dog turns its head away, scoots back, or slips right out from under your palm? That little flinch might say more than you realize. For a dog, being touched should feel safe and soothing, almost like grooming in the wild. But not every dog welcomes hands the same way. Did you know that many dogs actually dislike being patted on the top of the head? To them, a hand coming down from above can feel threatening, especially if they're already unsure of you. It's a leftover instinct. Anything overhead could be danger. Some dogs back away because we smother them with too much affection, too often, or at the wrong moment. Or maybe someone hugged them tightly once when they didn't want it. Yes, even hugs can feel like being trapped to a dog. So if your dog once loved belly rubs but now steps back when you reach out, it's not being moody. It's telling you, I need space to feel safe again. Try changing your approach. Offer your hand at their nose level first. Let them sniff you. Then aim for a gentle scratch under the chin or along the side of the neck instead of the top of the head. Move slowly. Respect their signals. Over time, they'll learn that your hands bring comfort, not worry. So, next time your dog turns away from your touch, don't take it personally. See it as an invitation to rebuild trust, one gentle stroke at a time. Now, what does it mean if your dog won't even take your treat? Let's find out. Now, let's talk about something that seems so simple, yet says so much. A treat. For most dogs, a tasty treat is pure magic. It's a little gift they almost never turn down. So, what does it mean when your dog suddenly refuses to take that snack straight from your hand? First, don't panic. Sometimes a dog might just not be hungry, or it's tired of the same flavor. But if your dog used to snatch that treat eagerly and now pulls back or turns its head away, it can be a quiet sign of worry. Maybe you raised your voice earlier or made a fast move that startled them. Dogs have long memories for moments that scare them, even if you didn't mean to do it. Researchers and trainers say this mix of wanting and rejecting is real. A dog might desperately want that snack, but feels unsure about taking it from you. That tiny hesitation can show you exactly where the trust line sits. So here's what you can do. First, don't push the treat closer or wave it around. Instead, place it gently on the floor nearby and step back a little. Give your dog the chance to choose to come closer without feeling any pressure. And if your dog turns away from treats more than once, watch for other signs of stress or illness. Sometimes a lost appetite means something deeper that needs a vet's eye. If you want to rebuild that eager wag and quick grab, pair your treat with a calm, happy voice. Make your hand a safe invitation, not a test. Over time, your dog will learn that good things really do come from you, and that there's nothing to fear in taking them. Next time you hold out that little snack, watch closely. That one moment might show you how much trust you still need to build. So, what if your dog doesn't even bother to follow you around the house? That's our next clue. Let's see what it reveals. Let's move to something many dog owners take for granted: having a little shadow. Most dogs naturally want to follow their people from room to room. It's in their blood. Long ago, wild dogs stayed close to their pack for safety and comfort. So, when your dog doesn't bother to trail behind you around the house, it can mean more than you think. Think about it. Does your dog stay on its bed when you walk to the kitchen? Does it watch you leave the room but not get up? Or worse, does it slip away to another room entirely? These small moments can quietly say, "I don't feel the need to be near you," or sometimes even, "I'd rather keep my distance right now." For older dogs, sometimes this is just about stiff joints or needing rest. But for many dogs, choosing to stay away often means they don't feel a strong bond yet, or they may feel unsure about your presence. Maybe they remember harsh words, punishment, or times you ignored them when they needed you most. But here's the hopeful part. You can change this. Start small. Try sitting on the floor at their level. Call them over in a soft, warm voice. Reward any step they take closer to you. Make yourself a safe, kind leader, not just the person who fills the food bowl. Many people who adopt dogs from shelters notice this most. A rescue dog might take weeks, or even months, to learn that following you is safe, not risky. So, be patient. Every step your dog takes toward you is a little piece of trust growing back. Next time you notice your dog choosing the other room over your company, don't be hurt. See it as a signal. With time, care, and calm moments together, your dog can learn that where you go is exactly where they want to be too. Now, let's talk about toys and what it really means when your dog keeps them all to itself. Now, let's talk about play, one of the purest ways a dog shows trust and happiness. Most dogs who feel bonded with you can't wait to share their favorite toy. They might drop it at your feet, nudge it into your lap, or even toss it in the air, hoping you'll join the fun. But what if your dog never brings you a toy, no matter how many squeaky balls or chew ropes you buy? When a dog keeps its toys to itself, it can mean a few things. Sometimes it's just a quirk. Some dogs like to play alone or guard their stuff because it feels safer that way. But more often, it hints at something deeper. I don't quite trust you enough to invite you into my fun. Dogs are wired to share play with those they trust. When they bring you a toy, they're saying, "You're part of my pack. Let's have fun together." If they never do this, it could be they're not sure you're a safe play partner yet. Maybe they got scolded for chewing on things in the past, or maybe they learned that playtime ends in frustration or rough handling. So, what can you do? Start by watching when your dog does play. Sit nearby and praise them gently. Don't snatch the toy away. Instead, let them bring it closer on their terms. You can roll a ball softly past them or toss a toy just a few feet to see if they're willing to share that moment with you. Remember, for some dogs, especially older rescues, it can take time to trust that play is safe and fun. But every time they drop a toy near you, even by accident, that's your chance to build a little bridge between you and their playful side. So, next time you see your dog chewing alone in the corner, ask yourself, what can I do to be invited to the game? With a little patience, you might just earn that joyful moment when your dog says, "Come play with me." Now, what does it mean if your dog doesn't even want to sleep in the same room with you? Let's explore that next. Let's move from playtime to bedtime, because where your dog sleeps says a lot about how safe and connected they feel with you. In the wild, dogs curl up close to their pack at night. It's warm, it's safe, and it reminds them they're not alone. Our family dogs often do the same. So, what does it mean when your dog gets up and leaves the room to sleep somewhere else? If your dog always chooses a spot far from your bed or couch, it might be saying, "I feel safer on my own." Sometimes this is just about comfort. Maybe your dog likes the cool tile floor in summer or wants a quieter corner. But if it happens all the time, if your dog never wants to rest near you, it could mean it hasn't fully relaxed in your presence yet. This is especially true for rescue dogs or pets that have been punished or yelled at in the past. They might not see you as their safe haven, at least not yet. Behavior experts call this the safe haven effect. Just like a child feels braver with a trusted parent nearby, dogs feel calmer when they know they can sleep close to someone they trust. So how do you fix it? Start by making your presence feel comforting. Avoid loud noises or sudden movements when your dog settles down near you. Give them a soft blanket or bed close to your space, and praise them quietly if they choose it. Never drag or force them to stay. Let them know your room is a place for rest and peace, not stress. Over time, your dog may surprise you. One night, you'll wake up and find them sleeping right at your feet, breathing deep and calm. That's not just cute. That's trust growing strong, even in sleep. So, next time you see your dog curl up far away, remember, that distance isn't forever. With patience and gentle care, you can become the safe place they choose, night after night. Now, let's see what it means if your dog seems to love someone else in your house a little more than you. Now, let's talk about a sign that can sting a little. When your dog clearly prefers someone else over you. Maybe it's your spouse, your child, or even a guest who visits often. You notice your dog runs to them first, stays by their side, or curls up at their feet while you're left watching from across the room. It's easy to feel hurt, but don't take it as a sign that your dog doesn't love you at all. Instead, see it for what it really is, a clue about trust and comfort. Dogs are smart. They naturally gravitate toward the person who makes them feel safest and most understood. Maybe that other person has a softer voice, calmer hands, or simply spends more time playing or walking with them. Dogs pick up on all of that. Your mood, your tone, even your body language. If someone in your house speaks kindly, moves gently, and offers treats or playtime without stress, your dog notices, and they'll stick close. Sometimes, this preference goes back to who feeds them, who trains them, or who never raises their voice. It doesn't mean your bond is broken. It just means you have room to grow it stronger. So how do you change it? Start small. Spend more relaxed time together, just the two of you. Sit near your dog while they nap, gently brush their fur, or hand feed them a special treat. Keep your voice warm and steady. Dogs trust consistency more than anything. And when they choose to come to you, reward that moment. Let them see you as the person who brings calm, not worry. Many people over 60 know this truth well. Trust with a dog isn't demanded. It's earned, day by day. So don't be discouraged if your dog picks someone else's lap today. With kindness and time, you can become the person they run to tomorrow. Now, what if your dog stays near you but never truly relaxes? That might say even more. Let's look at that next. So, maybe your dog does stay in the same room. Maybe they even lie down near your feet while you watch TV or read a book. But look closer. Are they really resting? Or are they just there because they feel they have to be? When a dog truly trusts you, they'll show it with their whole body. A relaxed dog might sprawl on its side, stretch out on its back, or snooze belly up with paws in the air. That belly is the most vulnerable part of a dog's body. If they show it, they're saying, "I feel safe here." But if your dog always lies in a tight curl, legs tucked, head up, ears twitching at every sound, you're looking at a pup who's not fully settled. They're ready to spring up at any second. Maybe they choose a corner where they can see the door and you at the same time. Maybe they shift away if you move too close. This tension could come from old fears. Maybe a harsh word, a slammed door, or even another pet in the house that makes them uneasy. Or sometimes it's just your dog's habit from a life before you. Rescue dogs in particular often need extra time to feel that nothing bad will happen when they let their guard down. So, what can you do to help? First, notice and respect their space. Let them choose how close to get. Speak softly and avoid sudden movements, especially when they're laying down. Try lying on the floor near them without touching them. Just be there, calm and steady. Over time, they'll see that resting near you is safe, even comforting. One day, you might catch your dog stretched out on its back, snoring softly while you read. That's not just cute, it's trust made visible. And when you see that, you'll know you're doing something right. So, next time you look at that tight little curl on the dog bed, remember, it's not forever. With time and patience, you can help your dog rest easy, knowing you're their safe place. Now, let's see what happens when your dog's signals grow louder, when they growl or show their teeth at you. That's our next sign, and it's one you shouldn't ignore. Now let's talk about a sign that's hard to miss, and even harder to accept. When your dog growls, snaps, or shows its teeth at you, it's easy to feel angry or even betrayed. After all, you feed them, you care for them. Why would they threaten you? But here's the truth that every experienced dog owner knows. A growl isn't just aggression. It's a warning. It's your dog's way of saying, "I'm scared, I'm uncomfortable, please give me space." When a dog trusts you fully, they rarely feel the need to use that voice. But when they do, it means there's fear or stress building up inside them. This can happen for many reasons. Maybe you reached for their food bowl while they were eating, or tried to take a toy away too roughly. Maybe you leaned over them when they were already tense. Or maybe they're in pain. Arthritis, a sore tooth, or an old injury can all make a dog more protective of their body and space. The worst thing you can do in that moment is punish the growl. If you scold or strike a dog for growling, you teach them not to warn you next time, and the next time might be a bite instead of a warning. Trainers and vets agree. It's far safer to respect the growl than to silence it. So, what should you do? If your dog growls, pause and back off. Give them space and speak in a calm, steady voice. Try to understand what triggered that feeling. Was it food? A toy? A touch in a sore spot? Once you know, you can work on it slowly, using positive reinforcement to show them you're not a threat. If the growling keeps happening or gets worse, don't handle it alone. Talk to your vet to rule out pain, and reach out to a trusted trainer who understands fear-based behavior. With the right help, that growl can fade away, and trust can take its place. So next time you hear that low rumble, don't see it as rebellion. See it as a message. I need you to understand me. Now, let's look at what it means if your dog seems to hear your commands, but chooses to ignore you anyway. Now, let's talk about something every dog owner has faced at least once, when your dog seems to forget what "come here" or "sit" even means. One day they're perfectly obedient, and the next day they look at you, turn their head, and walk away as if you're speaking another language. It's frustrating, but before you blame your dog for being stubborn, let's look deeper. Dogs are smart, but they're not mind readers. If your dog ignores you, it often means they don't feel motivated or don't see you as a clear leader in that moment. Dogs love clear, steady signals. If sometimes you say, "come here," other times, "over here," or "let's go," they can get confused, and confusion breaks trust. Another big reason is your tone and your energy. If you call your dog with a voice that sounds harsh or impatient, they may choose to stay right where they are. Why come closer if it feels like they're walking into trouble? There's also the simple truth. Dogs do what works for them. If ignoring you gets them more freedom, they'll repeat it. If listening brings rewards, treats, praise, playtime, they'll listen. So, if your dog tunes you out, don't see it as defiance. See it as feedback that your connection needs work. Here's what you can do. Pick clear, simple commands and stick with them. Use the same word every time. Come, not 5 versions of it. Keep your tone warm and inviting. Reward them when they get it right, even if it's something small. Dogs are more likely to obey when they know there's something in it for them, and when they trust that you're calm, fair, and safe. Next time your dog turns their back when you call, don't shout. Take a breath, try again with a happy voice, and make coming to you the best option they have. Over time, they'll remember that listening to you always brings good things. So, if your dog seems to ignore you today, see it as an open door, an invitation to reconnect. And now, what if your dog doesn't even come to you when they're scared or upset? That's our next sign, and it speaks volumes about trust. Now think about this. When life gets scary for your dog, where do they run? A sudden loud noise, a thunderstorm, a knock at the door. These moments test your bond more than any treat or command ever will. Many dogs naturally seek out the person they trust most when they're frightened or stressed. So, if your dog never comes to you in these moments, that's a sign worth paying attention to. A dog who hides under the bed or in another room instead of running to you may be saying, "I'm on my own. I don't know if you're my safe place yet." It's not that they don't love you. It's that deep down, they're not sure if you can protect them when they feel small and afraid. This can come from their past, especially if they're a rescue. Maybe they learned early on that crying or barking for help got them punished or ignored. Maybe they tried to seek comfort and were pushed away. So now, they rely on themselves, even in your home. But here's the good news. You can rewrite that story. The next time something scares your dog, don't force them out of hiding or scold them for trembling. Instead, sit quietly nearby. Speak in a soft, warm tone. Drop treats gently within reach. Let them come to you at their own pace. Over time, your calm presence teaches them you're not just the one who feeds them. You're the one they can count on when the world feels too big. Studies show that dogs who trust their owner as a safe base have lower stress levels, just like a child who runs to a parent after a bad dream. That bond can be rebuilt, one moment at a time. So, if your dog doesn't come looking for you when they're scared today, don't feel rejected. See it as a chance to prove, again and again, that you'll be there when it matters most. Next, let's look at something many people overlook. What your dog does right after dinner. It might surprise you what that says about your bond. Now, let's talk about one of the most comforting moments for any dog owner. The quiet time after your dog's had a good meal. For many dogs, a full belly is the perfect reason to come close, curl up by your side and soak up your warmth. It's a moment when trust shows itself in the simplest way. I feel safe enough to rest right next to you. So what does it mean if, after finishing their dinner, your dog avoids you? Maybe they eat and then head straight for another room. Maybe they circle back to their bed alone instead of nudging up against your leg. At first glance, it doesn't feel like a big deal. But this small habit can quietly say, "You feed me, but I don't feel connected to you yet." Dogs who truly see you as part of their pack often want to stay near you even when they're not hungry or playing. It's their way of saying, "You're more than the one who fills my bowl. You're my family." But if they finish eating and slip away, it can hint that they see you only as the source of food, not comfort. This is especially common if we've been too quick to pull away from them in the past. Maybe you shooed them off the couch, or maybe you were busy cleaning up after dinner and missed the chance to connect. Or sometimes, dogs who came from tough backgrounds simply don't know how to accept closeness after meals. So how can you gently change this? Try sitting on the floor near where they eat. After they finish, speak softly and invite them over with an open hand or a calm pat on your knee. If they approach, reward them with gentle scratches on the chest or under the chin, areas dogs find comforting and non-threatening. Over time, your dog may begin to link dinner time with together time, not just food. Next time you see them finish their last bite, watch what they do. If they choose to stay close, it means you're building something deeper than just a feeding routine. You're becoming their safe, trusted home. Now, let's talk about something you may have never noticed. Which way your dog's tail wags when they see you. Science says it matters, and here's why. Now here's a tiny detail you might have never thought about. Which direction your dog's tail moves when they wag it. We all know a wagging tail usually means a happy dog, but science says it's not always that simple. The direction matters more than you think. Research has shown that when a dog feels relaxed and positive about someone, their tail naturally wags a bit more to the right. It's almost like their body is giving you a friendly signal. But when a dog feels uncertain, stressed, or cautious, that wag can shift slightly to the left. It's subtle, but it's real, and it can reveal a lot about how your dog feels in your presence. So, next time you walk through the door, pause for a second. Look at that tail. Is it wagging big, loose, and mostly to the right? Or does it hang low, move stiffly, or sway more to the left side? That left-leaning wag can be your clue that your dog is unsure. Maybe they're remembering a moment you raised your voice, or maybe they're just not completely confident that you're bringing calm energy with you. The good news is, just like other signs, this isn't permanent. You can help turn that left wag into a right one. Approach your dog gently, speak softly, and keep your energy calm and kind. Offer a favorite toy or treat as a peace offering, not as a bribe, but as a bridge. The more your dog connects you with warmth, safety, and gentle moments, the more you'll see that tail swing wide and happy in the right direction. It's one of those tiny details that says so much about trust and bonding, if we just learn to watch for it. So, next time that tail moves, don't just see the wag. Watch the story it tells. Now, let's move from the tail to something just as powerful: how your dog reacts to your feelings. Does your dog notice when you're sad or happy? Or do they seem blind to your moods? That's our next sign. Now, let's talk about something that makes the bond between dogs and people feel so special: how deeply they can sense what we feel. Many dog owners have felt it. You're sad, you're sick, or you've had a hard day, and somehow your dog just knows. They come over, rest their head on your knee, or sit quietly by your side as if to say, "I'm here with you." So, what does it mean if your dog doesn't do that? If your dog seems blind to your moods, whether you're laughing or crying, it might be more than just a quirk. It could be a sign that your dog doesn't feel emotionally connected enough to tune in to your feelings. Studies show that dogs are experts at reading human voices, facial expressions, and body language. When there's a strong bond, they pick up on tiny changes in how you move or speak. They'll tilt their head when you talk softly, or lean in when you're feeling low. But when that bond is weak, your emotions can pass right by them unnoticed. Sometimes this happens when a dog has learned that showing emotion gets ignored or even punished, especially dogs who were left alone for long stretches of time or told, "Go away," when they tried to offer comfort. Other times, it's because we're too distracted to notice their small efforts to connect. A gentle nose nudge, a quiet sit at your feet. These are their ways of asking, "Do you need me?" So, how can you build this connection? Slow down and watch your dog's signals when you're feeling off. If they come close, reward them with a soft touch or gentle praise. Talk to them in a calm, reassuring voice. Let them see your emotions are safe for them to share, not something to fear. Over time, your dog will learn that your happiness and sadness are things you face together. And when they rest their head on your lap on a hard day, you'll know this isn't just a pet. This is family. Next, let's talk about a sign that might feel small but speaks volumes: how your dog reacts when they hear your voice calling them. Do they come running or pretend they don't hear you at all? Let's see what that really means. Now think about this. One of the sweetest everyday moments for any dog owner is simply calling your dog's name and seeing them come running with that happy look in their eyes. It's a small thing, but it says, "I hear you. I want to be where you are." So, when your dog ignores your voice or acts like they didn't hear you at all, that silence can speak louder than words. Dogs naturally learn to recognize our voices. They know the sound of our footsteps, the jingle of our keys, and of course, the special tone we use when we say their name. If they hear you but don't come, it might be more than simple stubbornness. It could mean they don't feel motivated, or worse, they don't feel that good things happen when they respond. Sometimes this comes down to mixed signals. Maybe sometimes you call them over for a treat or a game, but other times you call them just to scold them or put them in the crate. Over time, they learn to weigh the risk. Do I really want to go over there? And if they think your voice means trouble, they might choose to stay right where they are. This can also happen if your dog sees you as unpredictable, if your tone changes too often, or if they don't fully trust your reaction when they come near. Older dogs might ignore a call if they're hard of hearing, so always rule that out first. But if you know they can hear you just fine, see their silence as a gentle reminder. They need you to be a calm, steady leader they want to come to. So, what's the fix? Keep your voice warm and inviting when you call. Use their name with kindness, not frustration. And when they do come, reward them every single time. A treat, a belly rub, or even just a happy, good dog tells them that coming to you is always a good idea. Next time you call your dog and they hesitate, ask yourself, does my voice feel safe to them? Small changes in how you call can bring big changes in how they respond. And now for our final sign, one that might look sweet at first glance, but can actually be a signal your dog doesn't fully trust you yet. Let's talk about what it really means when your dog watches your every move. Here we are at the final sign. And at first glance, this one might actually look like a compliment. After all, isn't it sweet when your dog keeps their eyes on you as you move around the house? You might think, they must really love me. They don't want to miss a thing I do. But when you look closer, constant watchfulness isn't always a sign of affection. It can be a quiet sign of worry. A dog that feels deeply secure around you doesn't need to track your every step. They can relax, doze off, or busy themselves with a toy, because they know you're not a threat. But when a dog follows you with their eyes, head turning, ears up, body tense, it can mean they're trying to read you every second, just in case they need to react fast. This behavior is common in dogs who've been punished harshly, or who live in unpredictable homes where sudden loud voices or quick movements have taught them to stay on guard. They don't want to be surprised, so they watch you like a hawk. Some dogs even get up and shadow you from room to room, not because they want cuddles, but because they feel they have to keep you in sight. So how do you help them feel safe enough to look away? First, pay attention to how you move. Slow down sudden gestures. Lower your voice if you tend to speak loudly. Let your dog see that your presence brings peace, not surprises. Offer calm moments where you sit on the floor or read a book while they watch you. And when they finally settle down and close their eyes, you'll know they trust you enough to rest. A dog that can nap deeply with their back turned to you is a dog that feels truly safe. That's the real goal. Less constant watching, more peaceful dozing. So next time you catch those watchful eyes tracking your every move, don't just smile. Use it as a gentle reminder to show your dog, you can relax, I'm here, and you're safe. And now that we've looked at all 17 signs, it's time to bring it all together. Let's talk about what you can do starting today to turn every sign of doubt into a bond of trust that lasts a lifetime. Now you've seen the small signs, 17 ways your dog might be telling you they're not fully at ease yet. If you recognized one or two, don't panic. If you saw 5 or 6, don't feel discouraged. This isn't about blame, it's about hope. Because every sign of distance is also a chance to build closeness, one patient step at a time. Dogs don't hold grudges. They live in the moment, and they forgive easily when we show them calm, gentle care. Maybe your dog pulls away when you reach out, or looks away when you speak. Maybe they sleep across the house, or watch you too closely for comfort. But none of that is written in stone. With softer words, slower movements, and a bit more time on the floor by their side, you can show your dog that you're not just the one who fills their bowl. You're the one who fills their world with safety. So tonight, sit with them a little longer. Notice the tail, the eyes, the small ways they test your trust. Offer your hand slowly. Speak low and kind. Celebrate every sign that they choose you, even if it's just a quiet nap by your feet. And if this video helped you see your dog with new eyes, I hope you'll do one small thing for me. Share your story. Leave a comment below and tell me, did you see any of these signs in your own home? What's one thing you're ready to change for your dog starting today? And don't forget, hit that subscribe button so you never miss the next tip on understanding your loyal friend. Together, we can help our dogs feel safer, happier, and more loved than ever before. Because they deserve it, and so do you. You love your dog. You feed them, walk them, play with them, and sometimes even talk to them like they're your best friend. But let me ask you something. Are you really taking care of your dog the right way? According to a study from the University of Bristol, over 70% of dog owners unknowingly make at least one serious mistake when caring for their dog. And I'm not talking about forgetting to buy treats or skipping a bath. I mean actions that seem harmless, like pulling on the leash, yelling when they misbehave, or even hugging them too tightly. Things most people do out of love, but can actually cause stress, anxiety, or even physical harm. And here's the truth. Many of these mistakes come not from neglect, but from love. From wanting to protect, to teach, or to bond with our dogs, but doing it in ways that feel right to us, not necessarily what's best for them. If you've ever wondered, did I overreact? Did I confuse my dog? Is it okay that I leave them alone this long? This video is for you. Because every dog owner, no matter how experienced or caring, deserves to know what science and behavior experts are discovering about how dogs truly feel. Especially if you've had a dog by your side for years or even decades. And if you think you're doing everything right, I invite you to stay with me through this video. Because when we get to mistake number 8, you'll realize that over 90% of owners, even the most loving ones, make this error without ever noticing. Today, we're going to walk through 16 common mistakes. Some are subtle, some are surprising. All of them can affect your dog's emotional well-being, physical health, and even your bond with them. But this isn't about guilt. This is about awareness, about making small, loving changes so your dog can live a longer, more joyful life by your side. So, take a breath, stay open. And let's begin. Let me ask you this. Have you ever pulled on your dog's leash to stop them from running ahead? Seems like a small thing, right? But what if I told you that could be harming them more than you think? We'll start there. Let's talk about something almost every dog owner has done: pulling on the leash. Maybe your dog lunged toward another dog, tried to sniff something strange, or started to cross the street too fast. And without thinking, you gave the leash a tug. It's instinct. You didn't mean to hurt them. But here's the hard truth. That quick jerk on the leash might be doing far more damage than you realize. Imagine you're walking, and someone yanks you back by your shirt collar. Your neck snaps, your chest tightens, and your balance is thrown off. Now imagine being a small dog, or an older one, and that pressure hits your throat, your spine, even your eyes. That's what it feels like when a leash is pulled too hard. According to a recent study using force-measuring devices during leash walks, pulling can put intense pressure on a dog's trachea and neck, especially for smaller breeds like Chihuahuas, Pugs, and Poodles. Repeated pulling increases the risk of tracheal collapse, spine injuries, and even early arthritis. In senior dogs, it can contribute to chronic pain and limited mobility without you even realizing it. But it's not just the physical harm. Over time, dogs begin to associate the leash and walks themselves with discomfort. Some start hesitating when they see the leash. Others grow anxious or even aggressive on walks. What should be their favorite part of the day becomes a source of tension. And here's the part no one tells you. Leash pulling doesn't actually teach your dog what you want them to do. It just creates resistance. It's like trying to steer a friend by dragging them by the arm. They don't learn to walk with you. They just learn to brace against you. So what's the solution? Start by switching to a harness instead of a collar. This helps distribute pressure more evenly across the chest instead of the neck. Use a longer leash to give them space. And when they pull ahead, don't yank. Simply stop walking. Wait until they come back or the leash loosens, then continue. And when they do walk calmly beside you, praise them like they just won a medal. Dogs thrive on clarity and encouragement. Small changes like these can turn stressful walks into peaceful ones and deepen the trust between you and your dog. Let the leash be a tool for connection, not correction. It's natural to want a clean dog. After all, who doesn't love the smell of fresh fur after bath time? But here's something many dog owners don't know. Bathing your dog too often can actually do more harm than good. Unlike human skin, which can handle daily showers, a dog's skin is protected by a delicate layer of natural oils. These oils keep their coat soft, their skin moisturized, and their body protected against bacteria and allergens. When you wash your dog too frequently, especially with harsh shampoos, you strip away that vital barrier. The result? dry, itchy, irritated skin, fur that loses its shine, and in more serious cases, a compromised immune barrier that leaves your dog vulnerable to skin infections, hot spots, and chronic discomfort. You may be thinking, but I use the same products I would on myself. That's a common mistake. Human shampoos, even gentle ones, are not pH balanced for dogs. They can disrupt the chemistry of your dog's skin, even if the effects aren't immediately visible. A better approach is to bathe your dog only when necessary, typically every 4 to 6 weeks, depending on their breed, lifestyle, and coat type. If your dog gets dirty in between, a simple wipe with a damp cloth can freshen up their paws and belly without stripping oils. And here's something heartwarming. One viewer recently shared that she uses plant-based shampoo for her dog and avoids all toxic chemicals in the house, for herself and for her pup. That kind of care goes a long way. Dogs don't need to smell like flowers or perfumes. They need to feel comfortable in their own skin. If your dog tends to smell quickly, consider their diet, dental health, or ear hygiene before increasing their baths. Sometimes the source of the odor is internal, not external. Bathing should be a bonding moment, not a routine task you rush through. Use lukewarm water, massage the shampoo gently, and talk to them while you rinse. Your dog will feel the difference, and so will you. Caring for your dog's coat starts with understanding their skin. Less can truly be more when it comes to keeping them clean, happy, and healthy. We've all done it. Your dog is sleeping soundly, maybe snoring a little, and you need them to move. So you gently pat their side or call their name sharply. It feels harmless. But waking a sleeping dog suddenly, especially an older one, can actually trigger fear, confusion, and even defensive behavior. Just like humans, dogs go through sleep cycles. And when they're in deep sleep, what we call REM sleep, their bodies are fully relaxed. This is when they dream, process emotions, and heal. Suddenly jolting them out of that state can feel like being ripped from a dream into chaos. Have you ever been startled awake and not known where you were for a split second? Now imagine being a dog with less awareness of what's happening around you. Older dogs, in particular, may already have reduced hearing or vision. So when they're suddenly touched or startled, their first reaction may be fear, or worse, instinct. Some dogs might snap, bark, or even bite, not because they're aggressive, but because they're disoriented. Others may begin to associate sleep with insecurity, making it harder for them to truly rest. Here's a better way. Instead of touching them right away, start by softly calling their name from a short distance. Use a calm, gentle voice. Maybe tap your foot or make a small, familiar noise, like jingling their collar or tapping their food bowl. Give them a moment to transition from sleep to awareness before approaching. If your dog is older, make sure their sleeping area is in a quiet, safe spot, away from heavy traffic or loud noises. This helps them feel more secure and less likely to be startled in the first place. One viewer shared that their older dog often woke up disoriented until they started using soft music in the background. It gave their pup a consistent, soothing environment that made waking less abrupt. Our dogs trust us with their comfort, even in their most vulnerable state. Let's make waking up a gentle moment, not a jarring one. A few seconds of patience can protect their peace and your bond. We've all had those moments. Your dog jumps on the couch with muddy paws, knocks over a trash can, or chews on your favorite slipper. Out of frustration, you raise your voice. No, bad dog. It feels instinctive, like you're correcting them. But to your dog, yelling is often just noise, confusing, frightening noise. Dogs don't connect your tone with their earlier action, especially if even a few minutes have passed. So when you yell after the fact, they aren't thinking, "I shouldn't have done that." They're thinking, "Why is my person angry at me right now?" It creates fear, not learning. One viewer shared a powerful moment. After yelling at her dog Max for jumping on the bed, she saw the confusion in his eyes. He wasn't being defiant. He just didn't understand. That moment changed her whole approach, and over time, she saw her bond with Max grow stronger through patience instead of punishment. And science backs this up. Studies show that positive reinforcement, rewarding desired behavior, results in more consistent obedience and a happier dog. Yelling, on the other hand, can increase anxiety and lead to behaviors like hiding, avoiding eye contact, or even barking back in fear. So what can you do instead? First, catch the behavior in the moment. Timing matters. If your dog is doing something you don't want, interrupt calmly. Use a firm but steady voice. Not loud, just clear. Then, redirect. If they're chewing on a shoe, replace it with a chew toy. If they're jumping up, ask for a sit and reward that instead. Praise is a powerful tool. Dogs want to please us. They just need to understand what pleases us. And they learn not from fear, but from clarity and kindness. This isn't about being soft. It's about being smart. Your dog isn't trying to misbehave. They're just navigating your world with their own instincts. And when you choose patience over punishment, you don't just teach them. You earn their trust. Let yelling go. Replace it with understanding, because a calm voice can teach far more than a loud one ever will. Have you ever seen your dog tremble at the sound of thunder, hide from the vacuum cleaner, or freeze at the sight of a plastic bag blowing in the wind? You might smile, even chuckle a little. After all, what's scary about a household appliance or a shadow on the wall? But here's what we often forget. To your dog, these aren't jokes. They're real threats. Dogs experience fear just like we do, and their triggers aren't always logical to us. But to them, a loud noise, a fast movement, or an unfamiliar object can feel overwhelming. And how we respond matters more than we think. Some owners tease their dogs to get a reaction, nudging the vacuum closer, clapping loudly, or making sudden moves. It might seem playful, but to a frightened dog, it feels like betrayal. You're not just ignoring their fear, you're amplifying it. When a dog feels unsafe and unsupported, it starts to shut down or lash out. Some withdraw, becoming anxious or skittish. Others grow reactive, barking, growling, even snapping, not out of aggression, but out of self-defense. One commenter shared how their Chihuahua turned fear into play by dropping her ball in front of the vacuum to chase it. That didn't happen by chance. It happened because she felt safe enough to reframe her fear into fun. That kind of trust is built over time, and it starts with how we react in those scary moments. So what should you do when your dog is afraid? Start with distance. Let them observe the object or situation from afar. Don't force them closer. Offer treats, speak softly, and reward calm behavior. Let your dog approach at their own pace. This is called desensitization, and it's one of the most effective ways to help dogs build confidence. Your dog doesn't need you to eliminate their fear. They need to know you're there, you understand, and you won't make it worse. That reassurance builds a deep emotional safety net. Because when your dog is scared, they look to you, not for a joke, but for protection. Don't miss the chance to be their safe place. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give them. Have you ever caught your dog quietly watching you? When you're reading a book, Cooking dinner or simply sitting in your favorite chair? Some people find it a little odd. They might even shoo their dog away or say, "Stop staring." But here's something beautiful you might not know. When your dog looks at you, they're not just watching, they're connecting. In the wild, wolves observe their pack leader to understand what's happening, to feel secure, and to know when to act. Domestic dogs have inherited this instinct, and when they look at you, they're reading your emotions, your energy, and your body language. To them, your face is a window into their world. Science has confirmed it, too. A 2021 study found that when dogs and their owners make eye contact, both experience a rise in oxytocin, the same hormone that strengthens the bond between a mother and child. That quiet gaze? It's more than affection. It's a chemical connection of trust, love, and safety. So when you break that gaze, when you discourage it or see it as annoying, you're interrupting one of your dog's deepest ways of bonding with you. You're silencing a language that needs no words. Instead, lean into it. When your dog looks at you, pause. Smile. Say their name gently. Maybe even reach down and give them a soft pet on the head. These small moments become emotional anchors. They let your dog know they're safe, seen, and loved. One viewer shared that their senior dog, Peggy Sue, would rest her eyes on them for long stretches, even as her hearing faded. That connection, they said, was stronger than any word. It was pure presence. And now that she's gone, those looks are what they miss most. As our dogs age, their senses change, but their need for emotional closeness never fades. In fact, it deepens. They may not hear your voice as clearly, but they will still search for your eyes. So next time your dog looks at you, don't turn away. Look back. Because in that quiet moment, they're saying, "You matter to me." And when you answer with presence, you're saying, "You're home." You step out the door. Maybe just for errands, maybe for work. Hours pass. You come home to chewed-up shoes, shredded rugs, maybe a puddle by the door. Frustrating? Yes. But here's what many people don't realize. This isn't your dog being naughty. This is your dog telling you something. Something they can't say out loud. Dogs are social animals. For thousands of years, they've lived beside us, not behind closed doors or in empty rooms, but side by side. When we leave them alone, they don't always understand we're coming back. To them, time stretches. Minutes become hours, and for some dogs, those hours are filled with anxiety and fear. This is called separation anxiety, and it's more common than people think. Your dog might pace, bark, scratch the door, or act out in ways that seem destructive. But underneath all that is one core emotion: panic. One viewer shared how guilty she felt knowing her dog was crated for hours while she was at work. She said he used to howl, tear at the bedding, and refuse food until she returned. Her story isn't rare. It's real, and it's happening in homes everywhere. So, what can we do? First, create an environment that feels safe and familiar. Leave a piece of clothing with your scent. Use a stuffed toy, a chew treat, or a puzzle feeder that engages their mind. And if you can, leave a soft radio or TV on. Sometimes the sound of voices can ease the silence. Second, train them gradually. Start with short departures, just a few minutes at a time. Let them learn that you always come back. Over time, extend that distance. You're teaching them resilience and trust. And most importantly, never say goodbye. like it's a big deal. Leave calmly, return calmly. If you make your departure dramatic, your dog will feel that energy and respond with more distress. You don't need to be home all day to give your dog emotional security. What they need is consistency, preparation, and the quiet assurance that you're coming back. Because, to your dog, you're not just their owner, you're their whole world. And when they feel abandoned, they don't act out to punish you. They're simply trying to cope with missing you. Picture this. You're enjoying your favorite meal or reading the newspaper, and someone suddenly yanks it out of your hands. How would you feel? Surprised? Irritated? Maybe even a little angry? Your dog feels the same when you suddenly take away their food or favorite toy. It might seem harmless. Maybe you're just tidying up or testing how they react. But here's the truth. When a dog has something they value, like food, a chew, or a beloved toy, and it's taken away without warning, they can start to feel insecure. Over time, this builds into what's known as resource guarding. This behavior happens when a dog begins to protect their belongings, growling over a food bowl, hiding toys, or even snapping if someone gets too close. It's not about greed, it's about fear. They've learned that the things they love might vanish at any moment. You may have seen it already, a dog carrying a toy to the corner and hovering over it, refusing to let go, or freezing when someone walks by their food. These aren't acts of disobedience, they're signs your dog doesn't feel safe. But the good news? You can rebuild that trust. Start by showing your dog that giving something up doesn't mean losing it forever. Use a simple trade system. If you need to take a toy, offer a treat and say a cue like, "Drop it." When they release it, praise them and, when appropriate, give the toy back. You're teaching them that cooperation leads to rewards, not loss. If it's about food, don't snatch the bowl away while they're still eating. Wait until they've walked away, or calmly call them aside with a reward. Make mealtimes feel secure, not rushed. One viewer shared that once they started asking their dog to drop a toy in exchange for a small biscuit, the growling stopped completely. That's the power of replacing fear with trust. When your dog knows you won't take their treasures without warning, they relax. They let their guard down. And most importantly, they learn that your presence doesn't mean a loss. It means comfort, respect, and reliability. Trust isn't built in big moments. It's built in the small ones, like how you handle a toy, a treat, or a bowl of food. We love to talk to our dogs. We tell them stories, ask them questions, sometimes even vent about our day. And while it might feel comforting to speak in full sentences, here's something important to remember. Dogs aren't wired to understand language the way we are. To your dog, a long sentence like, "How many times have I told you not to get into the trash?" isn't a lesson. It's a stream of unfamiliar sounds. They might pick up on one word, trash, no, or your tone, but the rest is just noise. And too much noise can lead to confusion, not clarity. That's why so many training efforts fall flat. You might be giving a heartfelt lecture, while your dog is just trying to figure out whether you're happy or upset. It's not that they don't want to listen, it's that they can't process language like a human. So what actually works? Short, clear commands. Words like sit, stay, drop it, and no are easier for dogs to recognize and link to specific actions. Consistency is key. If one day you say, "Come over here right now," and the next day it's just, "Come," your dog has to start over every time. Think of your dog like someone learning a second language. Wouldn't you do better with simple, repeated phrases instead of fast, rambling speech? One viewer shared that their 6-month-old pup would zoom around in circles when she heard shouting, but calmed down instantly when they simplified their words. The difference wasn't the volume. It was the clarity. Your tone matters too. Dogs are incredibly tuned in to vocal emotion. A calm, even voice builds trust. A rushed or irritated tone, even if your words are kind, can cause anxiety. So next time you catch yourself giving a speech, pause. Ask, "What's the one word my dog really needs to hear?" Then say that, clearly, calmly, and with meaning. In the end, good communication isn't about saying more. It's about saying what matters, in a way your dog can truly understand. When they feel understood, they respond with trust, obedience, and love. No translation needed. When your dog was a puppy, you probably let them nibble on your fingers. It felt harmless, even adorable. Their teeth were tiny, their grip gentle. You might have even wiggled your hand to keep the game going, laughing at how playful they were. But here's what most people don't realize. What starts as a cute game can turn into a serious problem later. Dogs don't automatically know the difference between a toy and a hand. If you teach them that hands are for play, they'll carry that lesson into adulthood. And by then, their teeth are sharper, their jaws are stronger, and the stakes are higher. A playful nip from a full-grown dog, even if it's not meant to hurt, can scare a child, surprise a guest, or leave a mark. It can damage trust, not just between your dog and others, but between you and your dog as well. Because when they get punished for a habit you helped create, it sends mixed signals. And it's not about aggression. Many of these dogs aren't trying to harm anyone. They've just never been shown a different way to play. So how do you fix it? First, stop using your hands as toys. No more tug-of-war with fingers or encouraging mouthing during play. Instead, use proper dog toys, ropes, balls, chew bones. Keep one nearby at all times. The moment your dog starts going for your hand, offer the toy instead. Praise them for taking it. Repeat every time. Second, if your dog bites too hard, even by accident, end the play session. Stand up. Turn away. The fun stops. This teaches them that gentle play continues, but rough play doesn't. One viewer said they used to let their dog play bite during every game. But after an accidental nip scared their granddaughter, they realized how important it was to set clear boundaries. Now, their dog only bites toys, and everyone in the family feels safer and more relaxed. Your hands are for love, guidance, and connection, not for chewing. When your dog learns that, they become more respectful, more controlled, and more enjoyable to be around. So teach them early. And if it's not early anymore, teach them now. It's never too late to create safer habits, for their sake and yours. We love seeing dogs in sweaters, jackets, even little booties. It makes them look cute, cozy, and sometimes downright irresistible. And when the weather turns cold, dressing up your pup might feel like the caring thing to do. But here's a question that deserves more attention. Does your dog actually need that outfit? Dogs regulate temperature differently than we do. Many breeds, especially those with thick coats like Huskies, German Shepherds, and Golden Retrievers, are built for the cold. Their fur is more than just for looks. It's a natural insulator. Putting a thick sweater on a dog that's already insulated can make them overheat, feel restricted, and even anxious. And dogs aren't used to the feeling of clothes on their bodies. For some, especially those not introduced to wearing clothes as puppies, it can feel like being trapped. Have you ever seen a dog freeze in place after you dress them? That stillness, the head turned away, the slow licking of the lips, those are all signs of stress. One viewer shared how their dog would stand completely still whenever they tried to dress her. She wasn't being dramatic, she was uncomfortable. The moment they stopped forcing the outfit and instead observed her cues, she became more playful, more relaxed, and more herself again. Now, that doesn't mean no dog should ever wear clothes. Some breeds, like Chihuahuas, Greyhounds, and Dobermans, have short coats and may struggle in colder climates. In those cases, a soft, breathable sweater, nothing too tight, can actually help. But the key is to observe, not assume. Start slow. Let your dog sniff the outfit first. Put it on for short periods and watch their behavior. Are they moving comfortably? Are they trying to get it off? If they seem stressed, it's okay to skip the fashion show. Their comfort should always come first. We often dress dogs with good intentions, like protecting them from the cold. But when we ignore their signals, we risk turning love into discomfort. Your dog doesn't need to look cute for the world. They just need to feel safe, free, and loved. And sometimes that means letting them walk in their own skin, just as nature intended. To us, a walk is mostly about physical exercise. We go from point A to point B, maybe at a brisk pace, and then head home. But for your dog, a walk is something completely different. It's not just about movement, it's about discovery. And that discovery happens through their nose. Dogs experience the world primarily through scent. Their sense of smell is 40 times more powerful than ours. Every tree, bush, lamppost, and patch of grass holds a story. Who passed by, how recently, what condition they were in. When your dog stops to sniff, they're not being stubborn or distracted. They're gathering information, reading the news, learning about their environment. One viewer shared how she lets her dog choose the path half the time, giving her space to sniff, dig, and explore. And the result? Her dog comes home calm, content, and more bonded than ever. That's because these walks aren't just exercise, they're enrichment. They fulfill a deep emotional and mental need. But many owners unknowingly rush this process. They pull the leash when the dog lingers too long, or stick to the same exact path every day. Over time, this can make walks feel less joyful for the dog, and in some cases, even lead to behavior issues. Imagine if someone rushed you through a museum, never letting you pause to look at anything. That's what it's like for your dog when we hurry them through their walk without letting them explore. So here's what you can do differently. Give them more time. Use a longer leash when it's safe, or walk in quieter areas where they can roam a bit. Let them choose the route once in a while. If they stop to sniff something for a few seconds, let them. It's not wasted time. It's connection. And you don't have to do this every walk. But making room for a sniff walk a few times a week can work wonders for your dog's mental health and sense of freedom. Because for your dog, sniffing isn't a side activity. It's how they make sense of the world. Let them explore it. You'll be surprised how much calmer, happier, and more fulfilled they become when you do. There's a moment every long-time dog owner experiences. One day, your pup doesn't jump up to greet you like they used to. They walk a little slower. They sleep a little longer. And it's easy to dismiss it at first. She's just tired, or he's been lazy lately. But what if it's something deeper? Just like us, dogs age. And with aging comes change. Some visible, others more subtle. Slower movement, joint stiffness, trouble with stairs. Maybe they don't hear you call their name as quickly, or they get startled more easily when you walk into a room. These aren't signs of disobedience. They're signs of a dog who's doing their best with a body that isn't what it once was. The heartbreaking part? Many owners miss these signs, not because they don't care, but because dogs are so good at hiding discomfort. They don't whine, they don't complain, they just quietly adapt. Until one day, we realize how much they've changed. One viewer shared about her senior dog, Peggy Sue. They were together for nearly 12 years. Toward the end, she noticed Peggy was moving less, watching more. She thought it was just personality. Then, suddenly, Peggy passed away. The grief was overwhelming, but what stayed with her most was the wish that she'd done more to comfort Peggy in those final months. So how can you help your aging dog? First, recognize the signs: stiffness when getting up, reluctance to go on long walks, changes in appetite or sleeping patterns, confusion in familiar places. These are your dog's way of asking for support. Second, adjust their environment. Provide a softer bed for their joints. Keep food and water easily accessible. Avoid slippery floors. Shorten walks, but make them meaningful. Let them sniff. Let them set the pace. Third, adapt their care. Ask your vet about supplements for joint health. Consider lower-fat diets to maintain a healthy weight. And most importantly, spend time. They may not fetch like they used to, but they still crave your presence, your voice, your touch. Aging isn't a failure, it's a privilege. Not all dogs get to grow old, but if yours does, you have a sacred opportunity to make their final years as full of love and comfort as their early ones were filled with play and excitement. One day, you'll look back on these quiet, tender moments and realize they were the most precious of all. Don't miss them. Be there. They still need you, just in a different way. As you listen to these common mistakes, did any of them sound familiar? Maybe you've pulled the leash a little too hard. Maybe you've raised your voice out of frustration. Maybe you've left for work with your dog staring back, wondering when you'll return. If so, you're not alone. And you're not a bad dog owner. You're human. What matters now isn't what's happened in the past. What matters is what you choose to do next. Dogs are forgiving. They live in the present. And that means every moment is a chance to start again. With a softer voice, with a slower walk, with more patience and more understanding. Even small changes can bring huge relief to your dog and deepen the bond you share. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing. Because for your dog, every kind word, every gentle touch, every moment you choose connection over correction is everything. So today, choose one thing to change. Just one. Then watch what happens. And if this video opened your eyes, stay with us. We have more insights to come. Because a better life for your dog starts with what you do now. They're waiting. Let's make every moment count. Now that you've seen these 16 common mistakes, take a moment to reflect. Which ones surprised you? Which ones felt a little too familiar? The beauty of this journey is that it doesn't end here. It begins now, with awareness. If even one part of this video made you pause, then you already have what it takes to make a change. Start small, be present, and remember, your dog isn't waiting for perfection. They're just waiting for you. So tell us, what's the one thing you'll start doing differently today? Share your story in the comments. You never know who else it might help. And if this video helped you understand your dog a little better, don't forget to follow our channel. There's so much more ahead. Tips, stories, and science-backed advice to help you build the best life possible with your furry friend. Because they're not just pets, they're family. You ever looked into your dog's eyes and wondered, is my dog truly happy? Or is it just putting up with the things I unknowingly do wrong every single day? I know how heartbreaking that feeling can be, because most of us love our dogs with all our hearts. But sometimes, Love alone isn't enough if we don't know how to love them the right way. Today, I'm going to show you 21 common mistakes that nearly every dog owner makes. Little things that seem harmless but can make your dog feel lonely, insecure, or even unloved in ways you might not realize. Don't worry. The wonderful thing is that you can fix all these mistakes with just a few small changes, so that every single day your pup can feel, "Ah, I really am loved and safe in these arms." And if you love dogs as much as I do, hit the subscribe button now, so you won't miss any more loving dog care tips. Now, let's explore each mistake and how to fix it, starting with one you probably never knew you were making. Docking a dog's tail or cropping its ears might once have been seen as normal for certain breeds, but the truth is, every snip not only removes a part of their body, it steals away how they communicate with the world. A dog's ears and tail aren't just for looks. They're essential tools for showing emotion, signaling warnings, and sharing joy with other dogs. When you take that away, they may struggle to connect with their kind, feeling lost even among the people who love them most. Worst of all, many dogs suffer through this pain in silence, all for human aesthetic preferences. Similarly, sometimes we think we're being clever when we fake throw a ball. You've probably done it. You pretend to throw, then laugh while your dog searches everywhere. It's funny to us, but not to them. Each fake throw chips away at their trust in you. A dog trusts completely that you'll play for real, share genuine joy, and suddenly, they get tricked just for your amusement. How do you think that innocent little heart feels? And then there are times we think comforting words will calm a dog down. "It's okay, good boy, don't worry." But did you know that saying this often sends the opposite message? Dogs don't understand words like we do. They understand situations. And most times we say, "it's okay" are during vet visits, nail trims, or baths, things that make them anxious. So instead, offer a gentle hug, a back rub, or a safer space instead of repeating empty words that mean nothing in their world. Have you ever seen a dog being hugged tightly, eyes wide, ears pinned back, tail down? It looks cute to us, but to dogs, a tight hug feels like being restrained, losing freedom. They don't understand it as love. Sometimes all they want is to sit next to you, get a gentle back scratch, or be petted exactly where it itches. Love, for them, doesn't always mean being held tight in human arms. You might think crouching down makes a dog feel safer. But sadly, it can do the opposite. In the wild, predators crouch before pouncing on prey. So bending over, even with good intentions, can trigger a dog's defensive instincts, making them wary or scared. Try standing tall but turning your body slightly sideways. Avoid direct staring and let them approach you first. You'll be amazed at the difference. Then there's the kennel or crate, often turned into a mini jail for dogs. Crates are meant to be a safe space for them to rest, de-stress when guests arrive, or feel secure. But when you use it for punishment, every time they're locked in, they think, "I did something wrong. I'm being banished from my family." Bit by bit, they'll start avoiding their crate altogether, even when they need a safe place. Some busy owners believe that as long as the dog gets a daily walk, it's enough, and rushing the walk saves time. But for dogs, a slow walk, sniffing every tree, marking territory, and exploring is how they unwind, discover, and refresh their minds. When you drag them along quickly, it's like ripping a toy away from a child mid-play. A dog who gets long, slow walks stays healthy in body and soul. Every little detail, if you know how to change it, will make your dog noticeably happier and more trusting. And that's why you're here. With me, fixing mistakes to love them better. Interestingly, many people think hugging shows love. But there's something even more confusing for dogs: when we stare deeply into their eyes for too long. For humans, eye contact is intimacy. For dogs, it's more like a challenge. A soft glance, then looking away, is their way of saying, "I don't want trouble. I trust you." So if you truly love your dog, learn to give the right kind of gaze at the right time without forcing eye contact just for your own sense of connection. Sometimes, harmless pranks break trust too, like the fake ball throw. Your dog runs off excitedly, searches in confusion, then looks back at you. Where's the ball? The first time, they think they missed it. A few times later, they know, "Ah, my human is just messing with my feelings." That excitement to bring the ball back slowly fades. The trust that you'll really play with them weakens. A silly joke to you can be a tiny heartbreak for them. Then there are the rushed walks. Many people think, as long as they go outside, it's fine. But every outing is a whole new world to a dog. Every lamppost, patch of grass, holds information they sniff to relax, define boundaries, and break the boredom of four walls. Dragging them away mid-sniff is like yanking a child out of a playground before the fun starts. Slow down. Let them live that simple joy fully, and they'll thank you with eyes full of gratitude. Even more worrying, many people don't notice stress signals in dogs. Frequent lip-licking, turning away, scratching for no reason, or heavy panting. These aren't random. They're silent cries, "I'm stressed, give me space." Ignoring these signs and continuing to force play, cuddles, or petting just piles on pressure and can lead to barking or biting to defend themselves. Real love is listening, even when they can't speak. Sometimes you want your dog to be friendly with everyone, so you invite friends over, or take them out to meet other dogs. But not every dog enjoys crowds. Forcing them to mingle without time to adjust can turn socializing into a nightmare. Barking non-stop, hiding behind your legs, or trembling in fear. Next time, just seeing guests might make them anxious. Let meetings happen slowly. Respect their pace, and you'll see a confident dog blossom. It's not uncommon for people to wake a sleeping dog with a sudden touch or soft call just because they look cute. But a dog's sleep is precious. One wrong touch can trigger defensive instincts, especially for dogs who were once abandoned or had to fend for themselves. They may flinch or even snap to protect themselves. Let them sleep peacefully. Give love when they wake up and come to you first. Then there are fireworks. While people cheer and celebrate, dogs see them as terrifying chaos. Loud bangs hurt their sensitive ears, make their hearts race, and cause panic. They don't understand it's just fireworks. They feel like the world is collapsing. Never leave them outside or near windows during fireworks. Keep them in the quietest room. Close the doors, play soft music, and sit close so they know they're safe next to you, no matter what's exploding outside. One more hidden danger is their tail. Many people think it's cute to tug or pet their dog's tail, but a tail is packed with sensitive nerves. One wrong grab or tug can shock or hurt them. Love them by letting their tails speak freely, wagging high when they're happy, low when they're sad. It's their truest language. Many dog owners share cute moments by giving treats, or even sharing their own food. A bit of cake or seasoned meat seems harmless, but sugar, salt, onions, garlic, These are invisible enemies to a dog's body. Worse, feeding them human food confuses them about what's theirs and what's off-limits, leading to begging, rummaging in the trash, or stealing food. A single stomachache can destroy their trust that you care for them properly. When taking your dog out, many think a leash is enough, but a loose leash or a distracted owner staring at their phone puts your dog at risk. They might dart into the street, bark wildly at other dogs, or gobble up trash before you can stop them. A walk is only fun if you're truly present, watching every step and reaction so they know you're always their safe protector. Do you think dogs will behave just because you command them to? If you don't reward or praise their good behavior, they'll lose motivation. A gentle pet, a tiny treat, a happy, good job. It sounds simple, but for them, it's proof that I made my human happy. I am loved. If your dog loses interest in obeying commands, ask yourself, when's the last time you truly said thank you? Never forget, your dog always sees you as a hero. But the moment you panic, get nervous, or tremble, they smell your sweat, hear your shaky breath, feel your uneven steps. They don't know what's wrong, only that if you're scared, something terrible must be happening. That anxiety spreads fast, making them bark, hide, or overreact. Staying calm is how you show them you're in control and they're safe. Another overlooked mistake, underestimating how a new environment affects dogs. Picnics, trips, loud crowds, honking cars, it can all overwhelm them. Without preparation or familiar items like a blanket that smells like you, they feel lost and scared. Spend a few minutes reassuring them before going out. Pack something familiar, and they'll know that no matter how far you roam, your arms are always home. In the end, none of these small mistakes are scary once you start fixing them one by one. A softer look, the right pet at the right time, a slower walk, a safe meal. That's the true love your dog has always wished for. They don't want expensive gifts or grand gestures. They just want you, a patient friend who learns from mistakes and loves them better every day. If this video helped you understand how to make your dog feel truly loved, don't forget to subscribe and join me on this journey to becoming your dog's best friend. See you and your adorable pup in the next video.